And we are live. What's good, Josh and Mandel saying, how y'all doing out there? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I really want to know podcast. I hope all is well. Hope you guys are doing okay. We're hump day, halfway through the week. Just checking the audio. Audio sounds good. We're halfway through the week, guys. It's almost Friday. Um, yeah, man. I'm still trying to get back into the swing of things. I'm not quite 100%, but I'm getting there. Got a meeting tomorrow. Got a pretty important meeting tomorrow. Some stuff going on. But we'll be here tomorrow. We'll be here Friday as well. Still doing my networking and all that. But I came across a what did I come across? I came across a reaction from JB Reactions. Y'all should check him out, man. He's a solid brother. I was with him on Red Pill Crips platform. So I went over to his page. I support him. I subscribed. I was watching some of his content. And I was watching him react to Akon talking to various people on various platforms. And I had to jump in on the reaction train, bro. I had to jump on the reaction train. So, Akon, very successful artist, American music world. Angela Yee, she's part of that world, like the business side of it, and media and all that. She has a podcast called Lip Service. They had Akon on. And bro, I'm watching this thing and I'm like, bro, for real. This is like an alpha woman versus alpha male kind of thing. So I decided to talk about it, man. We're going to talk about it today. Why successful men don't date alpha women, or do they? Yo. And we are live. What's good, y'all? Welcome, welcome, welcome to the I Really Want to Know podcast, y'all. Get some indeed. So that's what we're going to talk about. That's what we're going to talk about. You guys know I'm still trying to get my production better. I'm trying to get it better on this end. I'm still a one-man band, kind of doing everything. But I do use my iPhone to see what you guys are seeing. I'm looking at a live feed. Sometimes I'm pushing the buttons. I'm doing stuff on my end. It doesn't happen right away. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, like, am I still broadcasting? Then I'll look over at my screen and I'll see, like, I'm looking at it now, it was frozen for a second. So forgive me, guys. I'm still kind of on the struggle bus, but I believe the audio is solid. Yeah, I believe the audio is solid. We might just have some glitching and some freezing. Just kind of bear with me. We're gonna watch a little bit of the video from Lip Service, and then I'll drop that video. I'll drop that window, and it should clear it up a little bit. But I mean, this conversation that's going on out here between men and women, and men being lonely and giving up and not trying, and women suffering from the same thing. And we hear about hypergamy. We got this book that Dr. Show wrote about sextinction, how it seems like we're not getting together anymore, and the numbers bear that out. But when you're outside, it doesn't, like, I don't see that, anecdotally speaking, when I'm outside. I do see people together. I see families with their kid, less kids, like maybe 1, 2 kids, but less kids, but they do have them. But, you can't sit there and just deny the numbers because you don't see it with your own eyes. You have to look at the big picture, and that's what the surveys and stuff are for. So I'm like, yeah, all right, cool. But when I hear these conversations, when high value men, top tier men are talking to women and they're talking to successful women, the conversation is almost always the same. And it just boils down to women, especially successful women, being frustrated because they can't get a guy on their level or better. And when they talk to these dudes, and the guys that they're talking to, these are the guys who've made it. And they're like, hey, I'm just letting you know. I'm just telling you this is what it is. I got choices. I get to do this. And the women just get frustrated beyond, they just get frustrated to no end. So we're going to check out this video, Lip Service. Shout out to Angela Yee and all her people. Shout out to Akon. If you haven't already, please go and check them out. There's a link in the description below. Just go ahead and hit that link. Go over there, subscribe. And, you guys remember Angela Yee from The Breakfast Club. I wish she never had left The Breakfast Club. Plus, she has her own national radio syndicated show on radio. She's still with iHeartRadio doing her own thing. Plus, she's doing her podcasting thing. So Don DeMarco to her, she's doing great work. Don DeMarco, very successful. I don't know what her status is. I don't know if she's married. I don't know if she's engaged. I don't know if she's dating. I just know she's successful. And and she's around very successful men. So and she's always pretty much in the middle. Like, she's the one that keeps the conversation calm. And then she'll have someone with her. She has someone here. Her name is Spice. I don't know who she is. I'm just assuming she's in the business. No idea who she is, what she does. Maybe she was an artist. Maybe she is an artist. Maybe she's a producer. I don't know. And then there's another young lady in red, very attractive young woman. Don't know who she is either. But I see, Akon he's sitting next to the fine one, which, dude's going to want to be next to the fine one, right? Kind of crazy. But Akon was talking about the traditional roles of men and women, and why things seem to be so difficult now. So we're going to watch a little bit of this. We're not going to watch the whole thing. The whole thing is about an hour and 10 minutes. We're just going to watch maybe 15 or 20 minutes of this, maybe less, just so we can get an understanding of what's being said here and, kind of jump in on the back end of this conversation. So let's get going. Let's pull this up so you guys can check it out. And away we go.
I don't understand. Can you explain?
I always believe that women have to understand the man that they're with. Like, men are built from a natural perspective to be in what we are. Like, this is who we are. Like, I think if women took the time to understand men, you guys would literally run the world.
We have time. Explain explain y'all to us.
We're listening. Elaborate.
This nigga's a troublemaker.
Elaborate.
Explain that to us.
In a way, it's actually good, though, because I think sometimes women need to hear it. Now, you may not agree, which is okay.
Yeah, it's
right?
fine.
So we all agree that men are givers, right? And women are receivers. Can we agree with that?
No, I don't agree.
Yeah, I think we reciprocate.
Yeah.
I think it goes back and forth. Sometimes women are the givers.
Yeah.
Sometimes men are. That's a relationship.
In what aspect?
In every way. Like,
we give you guys comfort.
Nurturing.
We give you a lot. We nurture you, take care of you.
You might be
I don't see you washing your own clothes, and we will cook for you, nurture you, be your mental space. Like, there's so many things that we give to you guys. And I think that's the problem when it comes down to relationship, is that men only see things from their perspective and their eyes and their lens and through their vision. But there's so much more to us as women. Right. But, men like you wouldn't date like probably a strong woman like me that would look at you and tell you the truth to your face.
Ooh. Interesting.
Forget the collab.
No, but I respect your answer, because I actually agree with you. There's only two things that I don't agree with.
Okay.
Is the first portion of what women give. What you had explained to me was your role.
Why would that be our role?
But you was 100% correct, because I feel like a man has a role and a woman has a role. So the only difference is you confuse your role with something that you're giving. This is something that you would naturally do as a woman.
But
someone that you love.
Well, why would you? Why would you say it's our role? Because I don't have to cook for you. What if I can't cook? That wouldn't make you not love me. Exactly. My role is probably to cook. But what if I can't cook? And you're the chef? Then you could also cook for me, because that is even more sexier and more romantic when a man cooks.
No, I agree. But what if the man took that same position and said, "What if I don't have to protect you? I don't have to serve you. I don't have to work. Just pay the rent."
But biblically, but the Bible says.
But just hear me out. The reason why there's balance, is because everyone serves a purpose, right or wrong.
Yes.
So if a woman denies her purpose and don't feel that she has a role to play, then how the balance is off. It's like men, we know we have a role to play. We've accepted our role.
What's your role?
We know that we're protectors.
Okay.
We know that we're providers. And we know that we're the king of the household to make sure that we manage the family to be able to live in a comfortable environment. That's our role as men, right? Now, when we leave to go hunt or to go work or to go whatever we need to do to keep our part of the bargain, the woman's role is to do what? Be at the home, manage the family, manage the children and the offspring to make sure that they're living and being in a position that they can be able to grow and do the same thing, whether they're women or men, to play the role that they need to play in society. Right. But if men are out there doing what they're doing and the women feel like they shouldn't have to do that, then it creates a dysfunctional family order.
Yo, he came with it. And it's, whenever you're in a situation where you're talking to, successful women, right? Alpha women, especially the ones that are older. And if they were unsuccessful at having a relationship or having a man that they love, respect, cherish in their life, you kind of get the heat that she's slinging right now. The men ain't nothing. I don't need a man. I don't have to be submissive. I don't have to cook. I don't have to clean. Like, you kind of get all that. And he makes a good point. He's like, all right, well, what if a man doesn't do his stuff? Because in our society, men don't have to protect. Men don't have to provide. Men don't have to risk their lives for their woman. They don't have to. They could call 911 just as easy as she can. Right. So, okay, if we're going to remove all of the traditional things that as a species we look for, in a significant other, in a mate, a long-term mate, a husband or wife, if we're going to remove all that, then everything's going to be jumbled. It's just going to be jumbled. Like, we live in a society where if you're a woman, you get pregnant, right? You have a baby. First of all, you don't have to have the child if you don't want to, right? First of all, you get to choose. Your body, your choice. No matter how hard the red states want to make it, you still get to choose, right? Still your choice. You have options as far as birth control and all that. Like, you can lock down your body to make it to where you're not gonna get pregnant, unless the divine comes down and does it himself. That's the only way. Right? We live in that society. Yet when a woman gets pregnant, they want to blame the man. It's his fault. Society wants to blame the man. He's a deadbeat. But here's the thing. Thousands of years ago, not even that long ago, really, society was set up in such a way that if you didn't have the protection of a man or your family or a husband or something like that, and you got pregnant, bro, they cast you out. You might not survive. You might, right, just wither away. There was nothing there to help you, especially if you didn't have a family. If your family cast you out because you slept with this man, you got pregnant, and back then you didn't have a choice, right? You didn't have contraception, you didn't have all that. It was like, yo, you have to preserve your value, so to speak, because every man wanted a wife that was a virgin back then, historically speaking. Of course, there were exceptions, but that's what they want. That your chastity was your value. Nowadays, you can get pregnant, society's gonna take care of you. You can have a baby. You can just point out a dude where our society is checked out now, like set up now. You can just point at a dude like, oh, that guy's the father. They're gonna start taking money from him right away, and the burden's gonna be on him to prove that he's not the dad. And then our government, society's not even gonna make you take a DNA test. That guy's gonna have to fool you and the system somehow to get that DNA test to prove he's not the father, to make the court look at it differently and say, okay, we'll let you go, but we're gonna go find somebody else. And if they can't find someone else, they'll take money from all of us in the form of welfare and food stamps and, subsidized housing or free housing, subsidized, child care, medical care, or free child care, medical care. They're going to take care of you if you're a woman. So you don't need the protection of a man. You don't need the provisioning of a man. Right? You can do what you're doing, get your head right, got your kid. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to get in a program where I can go get an education. I can finish high school. If you didn't finish high school, go to college. You're going to get all kind of programs for that. Start a business, get grants and loans from the government to start the business. Our society is going to take care of you. And it's not that they're only taking care of women. There are men out there that are getting taken care of too, to an extent. Anyone who knows how to work the system is going to be able to get something. So we live in a society where we don't need to worry about the things that we worried about back in the day. But we're hardwired to do so. Men are still hardwired that they want a virgin wife because they want to ensure that the child that she has is his. That's why they want to put their wives away and all that. Man, we got DNA now. Baby comes out, do a DNA test. Hey, I don't care how much she looks like me. I don't care how much little baby she looks like me. She ain't got my DNA. She got Bubba DNA down the street. This Bubba kid. We can do that now, but still, men are hardwired to we're programmed like, I want a wife that's, she's a virgin. I'm gonna keep her away from everybody. You know what I mean? That's just, so things have changed, and that's why I believe that there's a blurring of the lines out there. Women are killing it today, going to school in higher numbers than men, coming out making more money than their male counterparts, making more money than they've ever made before, in the history of our society here in America, killing it, getting jobs, all that. But the more money they make, right, the harder it is for them to find the kind of man that they want. And then the frustration comes in, and you can't do both because the women are on the clock. They're most fertile when they're young. The older they get, the harder it's going to be to have kids. Although we got medicine and we got ways to help with that. but it's still a problem. It goes against our programming. So this is why I think it's getting crazy, and it's gotten crazy out there. And here you have, the definition of a high value guy sitting there, right? He's very successful, and he's sitting there, and this is, he's sitting there with women, and I bet you every woman there is just like, she's like, yeah, I would rock with him if I had a chance, or when I was younger, I would, I wanted to be with a guy like this. Why? Because financially, he's where they are better. Socially, he's where they are better. He's looked upon like all the other women want to be with him. All the other dudes want to be him. That's just how it is. So, and he's trying to break it down. He's trying to let them know, like, hey, this is what's going on. This is what I'm seeing. And he's trying to explain it. But man, a little shorty in the gray, what's her name? Spice. She is just shooting the modern day feminist narrative. She's in every feminist talking point. And he's trying to square away. It's like, hey, look, like I hear you, but look where that got you. So let's keep checking this out. This stuff here
in the household.
But what does create also a dysfunction is when we choose a man to be our king, he should also be our peace, especially if he gives us a home.
Should be
that should be our
peace.
safe space. But when you go out there,
okay, quick question before you go. The home. Whose responsibility do you think that lies on, the man or the woman?
To take care of the home.
The home. You think that's the man's role or the woman's role?
Both.
I just want to.
I think it's both.
It's a little different. You own your house. I remember you did a post about how this man was trying to take your home from you. That was your house.
Yes.
She chose.
You know what I'm saying? That's so. I think it's
a little different.
I think in 2026 things have.
Hey, hold on.
Yeah.
The reason, 2026 is a very confusing moment in time because the roles again are mixed up. Like, forget about you being independent, me being whatever, right?
Just generally speaking.
Let's speak.
We got to be general.
We got to establish the roles, right? We have to know the purpose of a man and the purpose of a woman.
So you said a woman should take care of the household.
Who do you think owns the responsibility of the home? Is it the man?
I think it's both.
Or the woman?
It's both.
I think it varies depending on your situation.
I think it's both regardless of any relationship.
Yeah. Okay, only because I want to say as women are sometimes breadwinners now, because we see that's happening a lot more.
But it doesn't only depend on who's like paying the bills.
But hold on,
because there's different aspects of the homes. You got to pay the bills.
Hey, y'all know this little shorty in red, the cutie. She's not saying much. She's just listening. She's just nodding her head and listening. I bet you she's got a dude. I bet you she's in a long-term situation if she wants to be. She's doing what she wants to. What she wants to. The loudest two are probably the oldest. They're kind of beyond it. And they're like, rapping because they ain't got nothing to lose. And that's no shade to Angela or to this lady, Spice. I think that's what her name is. That's no shade. I'm just making an observation.
You also have
ladies,
to
y'all jumping.
do different things with the home.
Word bills should never come out of a woman's mouth. That's our role.
Amen.
Right.
We're the providers.
I love that.
You shouldn't have to work. Like, why? That's our role.
It sounds good until y'all break up.
That's what it is.
Listen.
No, but hear me out. Hey, listen.
But we still have to work because I still have to push an independent woman. Because if you depend, I don't like a woman that they fully depend on a man. Because if you depend on him to eat, that means he can starve you.
To me. You have trust issues.
I feel like
you have trust issues.
No.
A woman, when she's in her
emotional damage.
Like when a woman's in her woman, she knows that her man's role is to take care of her. She knows that she's not going to starve. She knows that she's going to have a roof over her head. And she knows at the end of the day, she's going to be safe. When a woman's in her woman.
Feminine.
Right? But not many men provide that safety to get us in our femininity.
But that's the second topic. Let's talk about the basis of the responsibilities of what we're supposed to do. Then we can point fingers on who ain't doing well.
I need to put alcohol in my
Right. So now, as a man's role as a provider, protector, right? That's his role. He's the one that's supposed to provide. You're not supposed to work. Now, if you choose to work, that's on you. But that's a choice that you have to make as a choice. It should never be something that you have to do. The day you decide you have to go to work, then he's slacking.
Well,
you understand? Now,
no, I don't.
Mind you, said the day you decide you have to go to work, not you want to go to work. When you have to go to work, he's slacking. And I can get on board with that. But the lines are blurred. No one knows what their roles are anymore. No one knows what the foundation is.
All right. I mean, I hear you. But what I'm saying is, I'm just telling you the roles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because the roles have been blurred to the point where now you got men looking for women to take care of them.
Well, men are the new gold diggers.
Yes.
Right.
It's fucked up. It's like
men are
it's
the new gold
completely
diggers.
twisted
Yes.
now.
But
And the reason for the twist is the whole woman thinking or feeling that this whole feminism thing is actually a real thing.
Well, feminism
that actually works against you.
No, I'm going to say feminism just means that we deserve equal pay and equal rights. But I want to say this.
But why would you want to?
Did y'all hear that little shorty in the red? Man, I wish I knew her name. She's very lovely, whoever she is. She's very young. She's very young. I keep saying young. Who knows how old she is? But she's a very lovely young lady. Can't get my mouth to work correctly today. And I noticed she doesn't have a red. She doesn't have a ring on. She doesn't have a ring on it. So, but I would imagine she's involved in a long-term relationship. If I had to guess, she seems very peaceful, or she just be really disciplined on camera. But she seems really peaceful, like the kind of woman you can have a really good conversation with, as opposed to having to fight and spar with like little shorty across from Akon Spice or her, like a woman like that. Man, why? Like why? But she said when he brought up feminism, she said gender equality. And you get that all the time. They'll talk about gender equality. Like, well, you know, feminism is about gender equality. Not today. Not today's feminism. It's not about gender equality. Right? There is, think about it. Women, if you want to talk about gender equality and making things equal, that means you got to give men some things. Like men need the right to choose. Men need some protections out here because women have more rights and protections and privileges than men do right now. It's where it is. That's where it is. If you're out there and you don't believe me, just think about it. Just, you know, stop being mad. Don't let it trigger you. If it triggers you, just calm down and then start thinking about it. Right? You can't name one right or privilege that men have that women don't have, but I can name privileges and rights that women have that men don't. Right? So it's not about gender equality anymore. And then when you want to talk about the pay gap, well, you know, it's about, you know, equal pay in the pay gap that we already know. You don't hear this argument anymore because when you look at the pay gap, there's not really a big pay gap there when you make certain adjustments for the type of jobs that men work versus the type of careers that women choose. You know, men work harder, more dangerous jobs, and they work longer hours and they get paid more. So if you take a man and a woman, let's say air traffic control, right? I'm a retired air traffic controller. You got a male air traffic controller and a female air traffic controller. If they're at the same facility, they started on the same day and they work the same schedule and they work the same overtime, they're going to make the same amount of money. Period. But once they begin to make different choices and deviate, like you choose not to work as much overtime, you choose not to work weekends because you get paid to work extra on weekends. You choose not to work your holiday because you can take your holiday off and you just get the day off. You don't have to worry about losing any of your leave, but you don't get your holiday pay, right? It's like holiday leave. You choose not to work the overtime. You choose not to work the midnight shifts. If you got a person who chooses not to do those things, they're going to make less money than the other person they started with on the same day. If they choose to do all those things. So it becomes like when you look at the pay gap becomes a conversation of choice as opposed to some sort of systemic sexism thing, right? So you lose that battle right off the rip. So it's not, you know, and again, you get a lot of women who's like, well, you know, feminism is about gender equality. No, not anymore. It used to be, but not anymore.
Be equal. All you have to do.
But you know what I think you can't take for granted is the fact that it's such a vulnerable position to be in, to know that you're relying on somebody else for your livelihood when that person
That's ego. That's ego. A woman should never have an ego.
That's not ego, though. That is reality.
You should have an ego.
A woman should never have an ego. Because right now, like prime example.
Yeah.
The idea, right, that I would ever think in a million years that my woman believes in whatever reason that she has to provide a safety net for herself because she don't trust that I'm gonna do my part. I've already failed.
I don't think that
a woman should never.
So you don't believe in prenups or anything?
No, I don't.
I do.
I really don't.
You don't believe in prenups?
No.
So, but you've been married.
Yeah.
We listen, and
that's a good thing.
Yeah, no, but it's a mentality thing.
It's a mentality thing. It's a good thing.
Because in time, again, I'm trying to tell you, You guys don't realize, you may think that you're empowering yourself by pushing the feminism movement, but it's actually taking power away from you because it's giving you more responsibility than you're supposed to have. It's almost like you're giving us a green pass to not do our roles.
The reason.
Exactly. And it's funny that successful women will bring up prenups so fast. You want to know why successful women bring up prenups, especially like this woman Spice, because she was talking about how some dude tried to take her house and all that. She probably went through the family court machine and got wrecked because she's probably paying. Well, she said she had a kid, but, you know, she might have been paying child support or alimony or had to, you know, pay the guy to go away or something like that. So a lot of successful women, I've said this before, a lot of successful women out here will bring up the prenup when they're dealing with you. They'll bring it up. Right? Yo, let's talk about the prenup. And especially if it's a guy they want to be with, because he's probably at their level or higher, they're going to want to protect theirs. And the guy's going to say, great, let's protect ours. But what did Akon say? He was like, nah, I don't believe in prenups. I'm going to take care of you. And if I fail to do that, you know, that's on me. Another thing, you know, Angela Yee and this lady Spice keep saying that, you know, I'm going to wind up with nothing. We already discussed that in this video. They could take everything. She could lose everything, but she'll be able to get into public housing. She'll be able to get food stamps. She'll be able to get assistance with childcare or assistance with college or whatever it is she needs, because society is going to take care of her. So she's not going to be just cast out into the cold and left to fend for herself, unlike some countries on the planet do today. Japan, Colombia, you know what I mean, Brazil. There's a bunch, like all through Indonesia, all through Africa. There are tons of countries out there where if you screw it up, lady, you're on your own, just like the dudes. They're failures. They're on their own or out there in the wilderness. So here in America, you're working with a net. So I don't buy into the notion that, oh, I got to have this because I can't be out here left destitute. You're not going to be homeless on the street. Society's going to take care of you. The people who are homeless in America, a lot of them are just by choice. They don't want to accept the help from society. They want to just walk around and do what they're doing.
I can't agree with you is because men are naturally failure. Men will fail you. But men will fool you of promises. So I wouldn't encourage any woman.
You've been really hurt. You've been really hurt.
She has. I have been hurt. She has been hurt.
Of course, I speak about my hurt, but also I need women to also wise up, because it's men like you that has the power to make women feel safe. But then when you cheat on us and we get emotional and we feel broken and we're ready to move on, you have so many women that is broken, don't know what to do. They turn to drug. They have mental problems because their independence was taken away from them. Because men like you tell them, don't do nothing, I got you, and you really don't.
Listen, can I tell you something?
Yes.
If you hold that mindset,
yes,
you want to be independent, you're going to take care of yourself, you don't need a man. What's the role that I play in your life?
To do more for me that I'm doing for myself.
I can't do more. You're doing it already.
But
no, that's not true.
No, that's not true. But that's not true. That's the mindset. That's not.
What is there left for me to do?
But
what is there left for me to do?
I'm just saying. Spice. That's the thing. There's so much more that I need, more than what I have.
Already conditioned yourself to do it all. What is there left for me to do?
Give me the trust. So I can fall back.
I think there's nothing better.
It's difficult to find a man that I can trust. That when he says to me, I got you, I believe him, and I can close my eyes and fall back and believe that he's there to catch me.
Have you ever had that?
No. She has trusted you.
She's
damaged. No, but you're damaged. Listen. It's okay. But I understand you because I see it everywhere I go. But what I'm telling you is the only reason why is that you cannot allow a man to be a man at his full length if you're chopping his arms off and his legs off and expect him to be as strong as you need him to be. He has to be like, it's prime example. If you want a man to grow strength, right? I don't think
money is all that we need from you guys.
But it's not even about the money. We don't care. We don't even, half the things y'all want, we only give it to you because you want.
We want, but what do you think we want? What do you think a woman want? What do you think a woman want from you? Because what we want from you guys never have to give us, and that's the problem.
Listen. Can I tell you something?
Yes. What do you think we want?
Women only want 3 things. If I'm wrong, correct me.
Okay. Tell me.
Right?
Yeah.
They want love, time, and security.
Love, time, and security.
Jordan's like,
and which one? Yeah.
My list might be 5 things.
Okay.
Yeah, what's the other 2 that's missing?
What more would you want that love.
Time.
Hold on. What more would you want that love, time, and security don't give you?
I mean, love doesn't equate to intimacy. I want intimacy, not necessarily.
Intimacy is a part of love. It really is.
But I don't think that's always true.
You could love somebody, and we're gonna get into that in a second. But
you see how our society and where we are has kind of, the lines are all blurred. You know, here's a beautiful young woman who says that love and intimacy are two different things. Wow. And I can see why she thinks that. And this is no shade to her. But if I hear something like that, I'm thinking, yo, she done ran through a lot of dudes. And I'm correct in choosing the words that I chose there. She ran through a bunch of dudes. This is another thing I have to tell the guys who are out here getting their game up and learning how to interact with women. And I tell them, I say, look, man, I don't care if you read the mystery method. I don't care what doggy game or, you know what I mean, what pickup artistry you're using. If you get with a woman and she is intimate with you, if she goes to bed with you, like she wants to have sex with you, she chose to do that. What you said had nothing to do with that. She made up her mind very early on that she was going to smash you, bro. So she chose to run through you. Even though in our minds, as guys, we're thinking, we did it. We ran through them. I'm the man. I'm the Mac. I got the game. You know what I'm saying? I'm Mac Mall, bang them all. You know what I'm saying? And by the way, shout out to Mac Mall. Fun Red Pill Crip and the whole crew over there. But I'm here to tell you, fellas, unless you breaking the law and you taking it, if she's with you, she gave you her body. She made that choice. She decided to run through you, right? That's the more correct thing. Like that's why I tell you, learn how to keep your mouth shut. Let her do all the work and all the talking. If it's going to happen, let her just let it happen. You ain't got to say shit if she into you. So I'm listening to this young woman, you know, and you know, she's probably the youngest in that room. And yeah, I got to understand, I'm in my mid 50s. She's young to me. I'm assuming she's somewhere in her 30s, right? She's in a room. She's quiet. She presents very feminine. So I'm like just kind of chilling. She ain't saying much. She ain't arguing. She's not being combative. I'm like, okay, yeah, definitely someone I would want to talk to. But then she said that love and intimacy are different. Ooh, that right there is eye-opening. Ooh. I'm like, okay. That just tells me she was out there doing a lot of detached sex. Detached from what? Detached from love. Maybe she had fun. Maybe it was a good time, but there was no love there. So Akon is right. It's like, what do you mean? Love and intimacy is the same thing, right? But she's like, no, it's not. And then the other women, the more experienced women or just as experienced women are like, yeah, you're right. There's this bunch of dudes out here just banging. And then you got to ask yourself this question. What group of men are they dealing with? And they're dealing with, these women are probably dealing with the top 5, top 10% of men. That's who they're dealing with. And they're dealing with the same dudes or the same type dude. And that, you know what I mean, that's going to hurt you. That's going to hurt you, especially when it comes to just you trying to find someone that you're supposed to be with, that you're happy with. That's going to kind of mess you up because you got all these bodies in your closet. Now, a little shorty in the red, or any woman for that matter, is not going to come out and say, yeah, I got to, you know, I banged 1,000 dudes. They're not going to ever say that. But when you hear things like love and intimacy are different, that to me is like, oh, that's the flag right there. That was the red flag that popped up. Ooh, she got a lot of dudes in her closet, bro. She got a lot of notches on her belt.
But love is a part, intimacy is a part of love. It falls in the love circle.
Okay.
So with that being said,
now,
you're saying every woman you have sex with,
yes,
you are in love with them.
No, but it still falls in love. To me, I love having sex.
Real talk.
You write songs.
But what I'm saying is it falls in the intimacy category. Love.
How do you have so much time for everybody you love then?
Exactly.
Well, time is something that God gives you. Like, you don't create time. Time has been created for us. We make the time.
But how do you make the time for all those people?
You can't make the time for all.
You say you can.
So then how do they feel your love if those are the 3 things that women want and you can't provide that all?
It's all about understanding and knowing the man that you are in love with. That's why I said it starts off with knowing the man you're in love with. Because what you want may not, hear me out, but it's going to make your life easier. Because what you want.
It's making it harder.
No, listen, what you want may not
because
be
if I want you,
of the man you in love with. The problem is they change it. or I'm in love with him. You want to teach him to be who you want him to be and actually engage him with your love language and expect him to be able to honor that.
Yeah, but how am I gonna fall in love with you if you don't have if you don't give my love language?
If he doesn't have the qualities that's compatible with love language, it's gonna make a very frictionalized relationship because men don't know how to change overnight. We change in time.
Yeah. Have you ever changed somebody, you think?
I never changed somebody, but I changed.
What does that mean?
I can't.
That means the same direction.
That means exactly what I just said. I can't change. Men, we don't change. We just adjust who we are to help better benefit the person we're with.
But sometimes that benefits you too, right? Because there's things because being with the right person will make you see things in yourself that are like, you know what, I should be better at this.
That's why I said I change towards them.
Okay.
But guess what? When that person's no longer in my life, what happens? I go right back to who I was before.
Or you could be like, I like who I am now.
I like who I am now, and I think this way, right? But it still doesn't mean I've changed. It just means I've rearranged my thought process to be that person for that person.
These are semantics, I feel like.
No, but that's why I said it's important for women to understand men, because what happens is you guys judge men according to how you understand us, but you never judge us to how we really are. Like, prime example, right? When we go into this, and the reason why I say I don't believe in the word cheating is because men were put on earth to reproduce by nature. God made us this way.
And what we were put there to do.
I mean, that's between y'all and God. Yes, that's between y'all and God.
We know our roles. We know our roles. Multiple women and reproduce with everybody.
We know our roles. Okay, so
he's probably going to get into this, but yeah, men, especially wealthy men, have multiple women. And if you're talking about the Bible, you're talking about what happened back then. Yeah, they had multiple women. All top tier men, right? All powerful men have multiple women. Who was it? King Solomon? How many wives did he have? How many concubines did he have? Right? That was, women like to forget that part. And as far as the change goes, like, change is hard. Change is really, really difficult. And it's something that's constant. If you're really trying to be the best person that you can be, if you're trying to be the best version of yourself, you're going to always be challenged to change certain aspects about yourself. And that shouldn't be changing for a woman or changing for a man or whatever, but you're going to change. You know, when I became a father, I made some real serious changes to my life. Before that, man, it was things that I do now I wasn't even thinking about back then. You know, when I became a paratrooper and I made some changes. When I made a decision to do certain things, certain changes came along with that. You know what I'm saying? Brother Mandrill is in the building. What's happening, Phil? It was King Solomon, right? Yeah, 700 wives, bro. 700 wives. Right? That's in the same book. They want to talk about the Bible, but they want to omit stuff that they don't like. And I'm talking about women, powerful women, you know, strong women. So I think it's a good conversation. I think Akon is bringing up some very good things. I don't agree with everything he's saying, but I definitely agree with what he's trying to push to women. Women do not understand men, and women don't really care to, right? They're trying to get what they want. Like you said, like, you want to mold this guy into the man that you want. He fits. Let's say you got 20 boxes to tick. You got 20 boxes I need to check, and he feels 19 of them. Like 19 of those requirements, he feels that last requirement. You're trying to bend him to be that. He needs to love dogs, or he needs to do yoga, or he needs to whatever. And they get frustrated because a dude will mimic, or he will take on the role that he needs to take on so he can accomplish his mission. If that mission is just smashing, he'll do it. If he's like trying to marry her, he's going to do these things because he wants to get her. He'll get her, but it's like Akon saying, if that's not who you really are, at some point, the true you is going to surface, and then what's going to happen? It's going to be a clash. It's going to be a clash. And if he's a top tier guy, he's a high value man, he's just going to move on. Why? Because there's a legion of women waiting to talk to him, waiting to be with him. And then she's in a position where it's like, there is a legion of men that want to be with her, but none of those guys are at the level that she requires. So, man, this is a good conversation. Let's keep going.
What I always do, I always take nature with rules that's been put in by society, because I believe we created all these rules without putting nature into account. And that's why we're in the problem we're in now, right? Okay, so let's just go into nature for a minute. And I love using this analogy because it actually works. Any species outside the human species obey nature. We are the only species that believe that we can outsmart nature, because we create all these rules just for our society to balance a certain kind of way, because we have to have it our way, that sometimes we don't look at what nature naturally and who we are naturally before we decide what equates to us, if we can even obey that rule naturally, right? So you could put 1,000 niggas on one corner and one bad chick walk past, you're gonna see 1,000 here like this. Damn. They don't even know why they're doing it. They just look like, oh shit. It's an instinct. Mm-hmm. You could be with a guy you just met, and he might think the world of you, and y'all sitting at the restaurant, and a bad chick walk by, and you watching him. What are you gonna do?
Look at his phone.
He gonna, he gonna look at her. He definitely gonna look at her. And I know y'all know this all the time, guys, is looking at women. Like,
but we look too.
So we look too. We're the difference. We look too.
No, but let's focus on men just for a second.
Okay.
Just for a second. Right?
I mean, we're gonna look at the woman too. You see a bad chick. We both gonna look.
Yeah.
Right. But most women are looking to see his reaction before they react themselves.
But it's the same with men.
But what I'm saying is, I'm pulling out the natural instinct that just happens without thinking about it.
Okay.
It's just order.
You don't think that's learned behavior though?
No. This is nature. This is natural behavior. I'm walking with you holding hands, right? We're dating. And a bad chick walk past and you be like, boy, you better not look at her. It's going to take everything in me not to look.
Facts.
What is that urge that makes me want to look so bad? Right? It ain't because she told me that. Because if she wasn't there, I would look freely. But because she told me not to look, it makes me want to look even more. And so it's that feeling that makes that urge that's there. I have to wonder, what is that urge that gives me that, right? That's just natural, the urge that was given within me as a breeder.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. Like, that's the human side of things. Let's just pick a different species like a lion.
Okay.
For instance, right? Okay. A lion is in the forest. His job is to protect the territory. The lion goes out, bring food back, and feed it to the cubs, right? Within there, there's probably 4 or 5 different other lionesses that king lion protects. His only time he gets off that mountain is when that territory is being threatened. Other than that, he's going to take time out, probably go out into the village or into the forest. He'll probably mate with another lioness and come on right back. And that lioness will probably get pregnant. And guess what's going to happen? She's going to come right back in that same territory and be a part of that whole covenant. Have the cubs, everything is moving easily.
Well, can we talk about the praying mantis?
What?
Destroying
the praying mantis.
Destroying the host.
The female eats the man's head after mating.
But that's not. But
what I'm saying
that's
is
a different type of species.
But what I'm saying is,
I'm talking about the mammal species. So going back, that's a whole other.
Hey, why bring that up? You feel me? Like, why bring that up? You're gonna bring up praying mantis. You're gonna bring up some arachnids. You know what I mean? Some spiders. Right? Why bring that up? Like, we're we're mammals, right? Why bring that up? The same thing can be said with the primates, right? With the silverbacks and all that. What? Women understand what's going on right now. They just don't want to accept it. Angela Yee is very intelligent. She gets it. She's seen it with her own eyes. She's read she's read about it extensively. She's talked to people in the field, like doctors and stuff like that. She understands what's going on. And I'm pretty sure when she's sitting there, she's like, damn, they're right. But just like men have that natural urge to want to look, and stuff like that, today's woman has that natural urge to want what she wants. She said she wants that provision and that protection, whether she needs it or not. Right? But what she doesn't want to do is give into the natural urge to say, yeah, this is the man I want. And he's gonna be the king, the lion king, and he's gonna have a pride, and I'm part of his pride, and he's gonna bang me and all the other lionesses when he wants to, but he's doing his job to protect us and all that kind of stuff. And the cubs are fine, and everyone's healthy and all is well. Right? And the same thing with the lion. When the lion loses, he's no longer the top dog. Another lion comes up and defeats him. He gets cast out. He's done. But that new lion gets all the women, all of the lionesses. That new lion to come around, he'll do away with, he'll destroy all of the cubs from the other lion, and he'll make his own. We're not advocating for that, but that's just part of it. Right? And another thing too, women will share a guy if he's high value enough, man. Look at Elon Musk. I mean, how many baby mamas he got? How many kids he got all over the place? He's a trillionaire. At least he was. I mean, I'm looking at right SpaceX. I'm looking at that stock price fall, but I'm just saying, women will share if the guy is high value enough. In fact, Rollo Tomassi talks about this all the time. Women would prefer to share a high value guy, a top tier guy, as opposed to having a low value, low tier guy all to themselves. Right? They much rather have an alpha than be stuck with a beta. It just, again, it's just out there. It's baked into our programming, and we're trying to change our programming, and that's why we're having such a problem out here. But these are alpha women. These are women out here who got the money, they got the bread, and they're frustrated because they don't have the options as their male counterparts. They're just like, well, all these women want you, but the top tier guys don't want me. Like, yeah, because the top tier guys, high value men, they got choices. The bottom guys want you. And that's what Spice experienced. Probably got some dude gang that was getting her money, getting her stuff. Like, she's paying for him. He's getting experiences and he's trying to take her house. That's what happens. That's what happens.
Yeah, but I'm talking within the category. I'm talking nature now. I'm talking nature.
But I'm talking about nature. Different species.
That's a different. We're talking about mammals. We're
like, hold on.
Yeah, that's a whole other species. That's a whole other species, right? That's a whole other. The close species to us in reproduction is plants, right? Plants, you have one minor big plant or tree, and it breeds a whole bunch of little fruits with seeds in it. Why is it there's more fruits than there are the actual tree? Because the fruits is what bear the seeds. And because the seeds are there, and the seeds are also multiplied so it can continue to reproduce itself, right? Now, look at the man and the human. I mean, the man and the woman. The woman is the one that bear the seed. We further, I mean, it's a little bit different because anyway, y'all got the egg, right? There's more women than there are men because of the fact that you guys are the tool to reproduce. The same way there's more fruits than there is a tree. A man, hold on, can make 1,000. Hold on. Hear me out. Spice, listen. Spice, listen. Spice, listen. A man can make 1,000.
I won't let you talk.
Babies. A man can make 1,000 babies in one year.
Well, I want to say,
I'm just saying,
there are definitely some societies where there's more women than men, like in China.
There's a reason, though. There's more because more men than women. The reproductive system is set up, but even then,
I looked it up. According to ChatGPT, Google. I looked it up on Google. On planet Earth, there's slightly more men than women. I mean, slightly. It's like 40. Like a high 40 percentile of women, but it's slightly more men than women on planet Earth right now. I'm thinking that might change if this war, pops off in the Middle East. That's definitely going to change.
A man can make 1,000 babies in a year. A woman can only make one. There's a reason for that.
What is the reason?
Because the man is the reproductive tool to keep constantly in rotation.
But that also...
this is why men can have more than one woman.
But why? There's still a choice.
It is a choice.
There's a choice. And I'm trying to understand.
It is a choice.
I'm trying to understand the lack of impulse control.
Men don't have an impulse control.
I know. So why not though? It's still a decision.
Nature.
Let's follow you with the nature.
That impulse is that urge.
Let's follow you with the 1,000 babies.
Follow me. That impulse is that urge.
Let's follow you with the 1,000 babies. Why would you want to have 1,000 babies within a year?
No. I'm not saying we want.
No, I'm just generally speaking.
He's saying it's possible.
No, I know it's possible. But I'm saying, why would any man want to have multiple babies other than one per year? I'm trying to see it's rightfully if a man can find baby. That's the problem that we're having, especially in our community. Because we need the men. We need the time. The children need the men.
No, but
our sons need y'all. No, don't call me there. Don't call me there. We need the time.
A man cannot be a man and go out and change the world if he's home taking care of kids. He can't.
Well, that's where we need. That's where the men are missing in the home.
To support.
No, listen, you know,
this is why,
because you know what,
our children.
no, let me tell you why I'm going to speak. I'm going to tell you why I'm going to speak, because I'm a single mom.
Right.
And my son just turned 18 and I raised him on my own.
Right.
And it doesn't matter how I love him. For his 18th birthday, I gave him 18 gifts. And it includes a house and a car.
Right.
I love him to pieces. The world knows this.
Right.
But there's so much I can give him.
Exactly.
But there's something I can't give him that you could have given him, or his father could have given him, or a man.
Right.
These male, they need a man in the home to teach them certain things that the mother will never be able to teach them.
So why didn't she allow a man to come into the home and the father? Why didn't she commit to that guy? Why did she choose the guy if he was a bad dude? See, this is the thing. This is the thing. Don't get me wrong. I feel for it. Hey, that's you know, good for you, sis. Like she's real successful. She's like, you heard what she said. I gave him a car, I gave him a house, I gave him all these things. I could give him everything except for a relationship with his father. Yeah, but you chose that dude. You chose to have your son. You chose to have that man's kid. And you know, I correct me if you think I'm wrong. Maybe I'm going out on a limb here, but I'm pretty sure that's not the first dude she was ever with. Right? I'm sure it's not the only dude she was ever with. You feel me? So I mean, I hear what she's saying. But there's some accountability that has to be accepted. You know what I mean? And I wonder if she's gonna accept her, you know, her part in this. I could give him everything, but I couldn't give him his father. She could have. I mean, she could have. It would have been one hell of a sacrifice, but she could have. Right? She could have. But this is what we're dealing with. So why would a top tier guy, why would a high value man, a man who made it, why would he deal with her if he have other choices? Hey, why would you deal with her when old girl in the red's available? She don't have any kids, and she's, you know, she appears to be more feminine, and she appears to be more submissive, and she appears, and she's fit, and she's friendly. Why would I take on a lady who is, you know, mad, angry? She's got to take on both the role of the male, the masculine, and the female, the feminine, and she's tired and all that. Why would I deal with you? Like, come save me? Why? Why didn't you save yourself?
So we
agree with that.
So it's not just about, oh, you're the woman, you take care of the children. The children need a man in the home. That's why there's so many broken homes. And that's why the society is built up with these young men who's not being led by a strong male figure in the home. Then they become robber when they're in need of something, because they're not listening to the woman.
Okay, so
they look at us as weak. But if they have a man to say, listen,
do you mind
son,
talking about the relationship between you and his father?
No, we're not generally about what you say when it comes to kids.
I'm just asking.
Oh, no, we are keep what you say. We don't reach that.
No,
we don't reach that.
But you do have to play a role in that.
No.
You play a role in that.
How?
Okay. The home is whose responsibility?
Well, you asked first, and I said both of us.
But it's not.
But Spice is also a recording artist. She has been doing this since she's young, you know,
listen,
and yeah.
Spice is an independent woman.
Mm-hmm.
Independent woman will hold the same responsibility as a man.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're saying to me, how hard job is the job that, or the role that we naturally play. You chose to be, by no means.
No, I didn't choose.
No, hold on. Spice.
I didn't choose.
You're a beautiful, attractive, black, rich woman.
So
trust me, you didn't have to be alone all 18 years. You chose to be alone.
Well, I didn't say I was
you
alone.
You can't tell me a
years,
Jamaican body man would have not taken a smash down. Don't tell me that. I don't want to hear that.
No,
you chose to be alone because you're in your own way and you want to be independent. You don't want to be told what to do, and you're not going to let a man run your life.
Okay, maybe
I wasn't alone for 18 years. Yeah. That's not what I said. But
you never was submissive. You never chose to be, and you will never be submissive.
Why wouldn't I be submissive?
You're saying it now.
You don't even trust.
You don't even trust. Listen, submissive is trust.
No, but who am I going to trust?
That's my point.
No,
This is the intro to the song right here.
She said, who am I going to trust?
Here's the thing. I think a lot of women would like to be submissive.
But you have to trust to be submissive.
But you have to be trustworthy to be trusted.
But ladies, I think sometimes y'all discount how powerful you are in a man. You create the perfect man. It's not the other way around. The perfect man doesn't come ready for you.
But you don't change. You said you're not changing.
No, but
you are who you are.
But we will change towards the direction to make you happy. Like this thing. This thing. Again, you can't. Again.
They don't want to listen.
The part you're missing is you guys can't change us, but you can influence us. Everything that we do is for a woman. You do know that.
So why can't one of your women influence you to have just them?
Because I wasn't meant to have just me. I wasn't meant to have.
And you know what? And we're gonna leave it there. We're gonna leave it there. Again, if you want to watch the rest of this video, please check it out. It's in the description below. Make sure you subscribe over there with Angela Yee, Lip Service. They're asking him, why can't one of your women get you to just be with her? The answer, Akon doesn't want to be with just her. He told her what the deal is. If you want to be involved in my world, you're going to have to join my pride. I am the king lion. You can be one of my lionesses. You're in the pride, and I'm going to protect you and provide and do everything I'm supposed to do. I'm going to play my role, and I'm just going to need you to play your role. Right? That's it. Akon, he's 10 toes down on that. And this is why I tell y'all, if you out here, you running a rotation, you doing your thing, do not lie to women. Tell them what's going on if they ask. Like, y'all doing y'all thing, y'all meet, y'all kick it, have a couple ice cream dates, man, maybe go do some yoga. She comes over for a Netflix and chill night. You smash, cool. You know, she comes over again a few weeks later, you smash, cool. She falls into the rotation, right? This goes on for a few months. Maybe 6 months, 8 months later, she's like, hey, so what are we? When that conversation comes about, if it comes about, you got to tell them the truth. You're in a rotation. I like you. I like hanging out with you. You're cool. We have a good time, don't we? We have good trips. We have good experiences, don't we? The sex is amazing, right? Yeah, but I'm not trying to, this is where this is going to be. I don't see us going beyond this. Don't lie. Don't tell her, oh, it's just me and you and you're the only one. Don't do that. That's wrong. And this is why you get in trouble. This is why you get your tires slashed and your car gets keyed. This is why someone's brother, cousin, or daddy or uncle comes looking for you, wanting to fight you because you lied. Right? Give her the opportunity to make a choice. And that's what it sounds like the Akon be doing. I'm gonna give these women an opportunity to make a choice. This is what I'm doing. Now, if you're a guy, you meet a woman, I've had rotations in my day. And I would meet someone that I'm looking at her from day one, like, man, we can go the distance. First thing I do is get rid of my rotations. First thing. I get rid of the rotation. Right. And then I move forward with that woman. And then 6 to 8 months down the road, when we have that, so what are we conversation? I'll tell her, like, you're it. It's me and you, love. Me and you. But here's the thing. We might get 6, 8 months in, a year in, and that conversation never comes up. She never asked, so what are we? Right? Then I might be the one bringing it up, and she might be telling me like, oh, why you want to mess this up? We just having fun. Then we had a good time in Aruba. We had a great time in Hawaii. Why are we messing that up? Right? She got a dude. She might have a couple dudes. You're in her rotation. Right? So now you got a choice to make. On that scenario, I would have had a choice to make. That's what it is. And women don't like that choice. Women were just like, well, why don't you just do it my way? Why don't you just do this? Why don't you just conform to what I want? Why don't you just be submissive, dude? And a lot of guys are. That happy life, happy wife, happy life thing, that's dudes being submissive. That's dudes conforming. All right, that's fine. That's what they want to do. But then they do that. And then the woman realized I didn't really want that in a guy. I wanted a strong guy. I wanted the thug. I wanted the bad boy. And she leaves you and she takes half your stuff. Part of the game. Right? That's when the prenups come in. That's when your vetting comes in. It's just, that's part of the game. It's how the game's played, man. That's how it goes. It goes sideways sometimes. It is what it is. Right? So shout out to Angela Yee, Lip Service, Icon. So, wow, that was a lot, man. That was a lot. So I want to focus now on the masculine energy, man, that alpha, like Spice was alpha one, like she's got money. Okay, she's an artist. Got to look her up. She's probably very successful. Had her kid, you know what I mean? One son, raised him herself, but she's still salty. She could never bring that man in. And probably in the video, Akon's probably trying to tell her, like, you chose to do that. You chose to do that. Why didn't you make it work with this guy? Why'd you have his kid? Why you know what I mean? Like, why were you in a position to even be pregnant? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on here? Like, why didn't you just make it work? And he said it, because you're not going to be submissive. You're not going to listen to any dude. Maybe the baby daddy was the guy trying to take the house. You know, maybe. But then it's like, well, you got. You went after a dude who was just a bad guy. You chose poorly. Just like some of us guys, but we choose a woman, get into a situation with her thinking she's the one, and then bam, get blindsided or whatever. Like Marcellus White, look at his situation. We talked about that yesterday. Look at what he's going through. He chose poorly. Didn't see it coming. Didn't set up. Wasn't prepared. And that's what happened to her. But she made that choice. And it's like we visit our sins on our children. That's who it always falls on, the kids. They got to deal with this. I had to deal with it. My daughter had to deal with it. You know what I mean? It sucks. Man, it sucks. But I own it. Like, hey, you know, hey, I did my best. Damn, I wish I could have made it work, but nah. It didn't work. But I'm not gonna sit here and blame all women for that. I'm not gonna say it's the women's fault. I'm not gonna say that. It's just the game. That's how the game goes. So, and did you hear the conversation? A very lively conversation there. You know, Akon sitting there with 3 women, you know, 2 of whom were extremely successful. Little shorty in red, I don't know who that is. Maybe she's just as successful as the other 2. Probably, I don't know. She's definitely more attractive, right? So he's sitting there and it's just going to, did you hear all the energy? What guy wants to come home to a woman who's going to hit him with that type of energy? Like, you're going to come home after trying to tame the world. You're trying to put your stamp on the universe, and you come home and you got to fight your wife. You got to fight the woman in your home. Ladies, you want to provide that peace, especially for a guy who's there. You're dealing with a dude who is already there. He chose you. Of all the other women he could have had, he chose you. He comes home and here you are being combative. Talking about, I don't cook. I don't have to cook. You don't have to cook. You don't even have to make me a sandwich. Well, I don't know how to cook. You can't figure it out. But you can build a brand. You can start these businesses, but you can't cook. That means you don't want to cook. Well, I make this money. I just hire a chef. But I want you to make me a fruit salad. You can't. You telling me you can't cut up a watermelon? You can't make some grilled cheese or something for me? Like, you just don't care. But you want me to do that for you. You see, and it's a high value man, a top tier guy is not going to do that. It's going to be a very rare man that's going to conquer the world, slay the universe, and then come home and make you a sandwich. Why would he do that? Travis Kelce probably ain't doing that for his girl. He might, though. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, she's taking on the masculine role in a sense of finances. But we don't know what's going on in their home. Shout out to, Travis. But social media is confusing confidence with competitiveness. Because women are out here competing with the men. And because women find successful men attractive who have all this money, all this success, all this, the social stuff, they find that, success attractive in a mate. Whereas the guys who are successful, they're not looking for that in a mate. They're not looking for a wife they got to compete with. Right? Fit, friendly, feminine, and she's willing to follow his lead. That's all they're looking for. So, that's one of the things. Social media is definitely confusing people. We're going to look at why a lot of men and women completely misunderstand what successful men are actually looking for. Because you can see the Spice in that video. She had no idea. And she went 18 years raising her son alone because although she says she wants a top guy, she couldn't get one. Right? And it's not that she, like Akon said, it ain't like you were starved of men. Pretty sure it was tons of men around. But she didn't want none of them. She needs, she needs a certain type of dude. And that's all women. No matter where they are on that scale, 0 to 10, doesn't matter where they are. They all want the same type dude. And this is the problem. You know what I mean? But, before we continue this conversation and before, we get too deep down into this, let's define it though, right? So what is an alpha woman? In your mind, what's an alpha woman? I mean, if you want to go ahead and put it in the chat, if you're watching this on Team Replay, yeah, shoot me a comment. What is an alpha woman? Right? And you can just say if you agree or disagree, but I mean, is she successful, educated, confident? Is she bossy? Is she competitive? Is she feminine? Is she masculine? Right? What is an alpha woman? Give me like 2 or 3 traits of what you consider an alpha woman. Because that's where a lot of the problems lie. Because society, again, social media now, and society has women that kind of confuse. You throw feminism in there, and it's just women are being programmed and encouraged to become the very dude that they want to marry. So if women are becoming the men that they want to marry, it's like, well, how are you going to find that guy when you possess all the qualities? Because those qualities are definitely alpha. Those qualities are masculine, and men aren't necessarily looking for that. And this is why you have women complaining about how soft men have become, how feminine men are today. Even in that video, they were talking about how there are guys out there looking to gold dig, and they're out there trying to find a wealthy woman, a successful woman, so they can get on, right? What do they call it? The soft guy era or whatever, the soft guy life, right? You got that going on. So, that's something to think about, right? And I see this out there. I see it. I see it all the time. Confidence isn't the problem, right? I don't think confidence is the problem. It could lead to some problems. It depends. I think women have to make a decision early on. What do you want to get? Like if you're trying to have that family, you need to start early because, her biological clock is ticking. So it makes more sense to find that dude, find him early, start having babies if that's what you want to do. Problem is society says you got to have all this stuff. He has to make 6 figures. He's got to be so tall, like over 6 feet. He's got to be in shape, like 6-pack, and he all these other things. It's like, that doesn't need to be all that, right? Or do you just want a man who's working hard, that loves you, that'll do anything for you, that wants to have a family? Because if you chase the bag, if you chase the career, it's going to be harder for you to find what you're looking for in a mate. That's another thing too. Women call them partners. Dudes who want to start a family ain't looking for a partner. And that's not a partnership. They're looking for a wife. And if women aren't looking for husbands, they're looking for partners. I could see that being a problem. I mean, what guy is going to say, yeah, I'll be your partner? And if that guy does say that, I mean, is that a strong guy? Is that an independent, confident dude? I would say not. Right? So confidence isn't a problem. I do love confident women. I ain't gonna lie to you. Confident women are the best women to talk to, the best conversations. They don't normally hem and haw and shit. Like when you want to do something, they're confident. They're not worried about what the girls think. They want to get to know you. They're going to come get to know you. They want to go hang out. They're going to go hang out. They want to come over. They're going to come over. Confident women are great. I love confident women. I really do. I've dated so many confident women, man. Air traffic controller, bro. You got to be an alpha to be an air traffic controller and be successful. I was an air traffic controller for well over 20 years. Yes, I work with confident women. I worked with women who were air traffic controllers that weren't that confident. They went out, they had trouble. They had trouble. So you need confidence. Confidence isn't an issue. The issue is, does someone bring peace or conflict? That's the big difference. When I did date confident women, when I came home, I didn't come home to a fight. I didn't come home to an argument. When I came home, I normally came home to dinner. I came home to, like my drink. I would come home and she had drinks ready and she was doing her thing. If she beat me home, she would set things up. If I got home before her, I would set things up. We were doing it for one another. Did we butt heads? Of course we did. Of course we did. It did get to a point where it's like, oh man, it got to a point where like, I'm tired of the fighting. I can't do this anymore because I wanted to go one way and she wanted to go another. And again, someone's going to have to make a decision, right? Relationships are full of moments when you got to make a decision. The time came when it was like, hey, we came to a fork in the road. I'm the man. I'm in charge of this relationship. We're going this way. And she said, nope, can't follow you down that road. I'm going that way. And that's where it went. That's where it ended. We had to make a choice. My choice was to continue down my path. I could have chosen to follow her. Had I chose to follow her, I mean, she's in command moving forward. Ain't no takebacks. Like she's clearly in charge. Right? I was willing to move on. And I always tell you guys, the person who's willing to walk away technically has the leverage. I had a little bit more leverage there because I was willing to walk away. She wasn't willing to follow me. So someone argued and we all had equal leverage. Okay, fine. I went my way, she went hers. Right? But confidence wasn't the problem. Right? It was the conflict. That was the problem. So the one thing successful men want, right, in my opinion, and it's like a shared opinion of a lot of men, it isn't beauty, it isn't money, it isn't status, it isn't degrees, it's peace. Right? And that's the one thing successful men want. I might have misspoke earlier. You know, sometimes I might say, oh, what do successful women want? But I mean, I'm reading my notes here. So just to be clear, I'm talking about the one thing successful men want, generally speaking. You know what I mean? Because people be hitting me up in the comments, like, oh, you misspoke. You said this. Like, yeah, I did, my bad. So successful men, like beauty, like the fit, friendly, feminine, like the beauty thing up front means something for sure. Right? Beauty means something up front. That's what's going to draw us in. Right? But beauty alone won't keep you there. Right? You could be the baddest woman on the planet. That beauty alone won't keep you there if you have a bunch of other issues, right? That's why when you talk to these very successful, very wealthy men, you meet their wife, it's like, man, she's like a 7. Like this dude could get 9 and 10s. Why don't he get the 9 and 10s? Because those beautiful women that he was dealing with didn't offer much outside of their beauty. So that's why it isn't beauty. It isn't money. Successful dudes don't care about her money, right? It isn't status because he has his own. As a matter of fact, a woman with a whole bunch of status could be a red flag, right? He doesn't care about degrees. He doesn't care about the letters behind her name. Doesn't care about the letters in front of her name. It's peace. That's the number one thing. Once you guys have begun the relationship, you guys are doing your thing, it's peace. If you keep the home peaceful, you bring him peace, you're going to be there no matter what. And there it is. Peace is number one, man. Drill hit it. It's peace. It's peace. That's what men want. All men. Right? From the lowest status to the highest status. That's what they want. After working 50 to 60 hours a week or more, running businesses, managing employees, making major job decisions, out there in the streets hustling, on the battlefield, you know, for the United States of America doing stuff, or out there training, jumping out of airplanes like I used to do back in the day. After doing all that, most successful men don't want another board meeting when they come home. They don't want to have to fight another firefight when they come home. They don't want to have to come home and argue over why he wanted watermelon sliced up and not cantaloupe or whatever. Like, you'd be surprised. I remember once I had someone who wasn't paying for any bills, wasn't doing anything, just living with me. Like, she was beautiful, right? Fine, funny, all that kind of stuff. She wasn't doing anything. And she would cook and clean. She was trying to play this role. It wasn't what she wanted to do. It wasn't a natural fit for her. She was trying to play a role. And she would get mad at me because I would eat all of the watermelon from the fruit salad. We had a fruit salad with like watermelon, strawberries, cantaloupe, honeydew, pineapple. And I would go through, because the watermelon was like really good. I would go through and just eat all of the watermelon slices because it was so good, right? And we had a fight over that. She was talking about, don't be eating all the watermelon. I'm like, that's my watermelon in my house, in my refrigerator, in my bowl, cut with my utensils. What do you mean don't eat that? I paid for, right? Well, I prepared it. That was the beginning of the end for her. I let it go. I said, okay. I let it go. That was the beginning of the end. I began the process of, we got to get you out of here. And some other things happened or whatever. And it turned. I didn't want to deal with that. As an air traffic controller dealing with really high stress stuff, and I'm coming home and this is it. I wanted peace. It was way more peaceful in the home by myself than dealing with that. That's the last thing I wanted to deal with. And of course, there was some other stuff. Like once you start looking down the negativity list, it just starts to add up. It piles up, and it's just a matter of time before it's over. I could not believe that it was a grown person that I was supporting financially. You're living under my roof, and I'm taking on your bills as well. Like you came in and increased, my financial output 100%. Right? You came out paying for your car, your insurance, like your clothes, like your whatever, everything you had going on. I had to pay for that. And you're telling me not to eat the fruit from my refrigerator? Man, you see now I'm getting mad about it. Like, don't do that, ladies. So that is really, really important. And the guys who have choices, the top tier guys, the guys who have game and have a lot of women floating around them, they're only going to take so much. Right? They're only going to take so much. And it's not a bad thing that, that you're dealing with a woman who's alpha and she's taking care of herself and she's done everything she needs to do. She's gotten her college out of the way. She's got a career locked in and all that. It's not a bad thing. But like, if that's you, sis, if you're that woman and you want a guy that's at your level or better, he has a lot of options. He has a ton of options. And if you're not doing the things that he wants done the way he wants them done, he's going to exercise one of them options. Even if you got a guy who's like, look, he's not cheating. He got rid of his rotation. He's solely focused on you. And y'all get to a point where he's like, hey, I need us to do this. I need you to do this. And you say no. Then he's going to like, all right, I'm going to find a woman who can do this. This is what I need. This is what I'm looking for. And if you're not going to do it, fine, I'll find someone else who will. And that's what a top tier guy is going to do. And this is the problem. Like, because a lot of women, when they do finally come across the guy, they's like, I have no power over him. Yeah, you don't, because he has all these choices. There are all the women out there that want to be with him. He chose you. Right. And like I said before, when it comes to like, having sex and all that, women control who gets sexual access. So the woman in that situation she still smashed him. Like, hey, I gave him my body. I jumped in the bed with him. I gave him this Foxy Brown, we whatever. But he's the one that's going to give you a relationship. So yeah, you gave him your sex and all those other women are waiting to give him their sex as well. So you got the relationship, but you got to maintain it. And you're not going to be able to change him, force him to be the guy you want. I mean, you can try, but you're probably going to lose him. All right? Probably going to lose him. So there was a lot in that clip, though, that I agree with. I mean, just watching Akon listen, try to talk to these women. But the one thing that just stood out is did you see how he had to fight so hard just to get his words out? Because the Spice Lady and even Angela didn't want to hear the words. Why didn't they want to hear the words? Because they knew what he was saying made sense. Like, yeah. If you want to get a guy like him, you're going to have to get on this program, which means you're going to have to join his pride. That's how he getting down. Little shorty in the red that was in the clip. I'm sorry, I can't remember her name. Little shorty in the red. He probably would extend her. Yeah, you want to join the pride? You can join the pride. But you ain't going to be, it's not going to be just me and you. Like, that's that Disney fairy tale. They're like, oh, I'm the only one. I'm going to be the queen. You might be the queen, but he got concubines. He got women all up in the village. The king out here doing all kind of stuff. And the queen knows it. The king is banging women in the court, and the king knows it. Right? The queen knows it. Right? It is what it is. So you say you want to be the queen, understand what that means. Right? Understand what that means. A lot of women want to be alpha. They just want the type of man that they want has as much as they do or more. And they basically want him to be submissive to her. That's what they really want. At the beginning of that clip when they were talking about, yeah, he can cook for me. That's so sexy. You hear that all the time. And bro, that's a really good tool. You get a woman to come to your house is nice and clean and neat, and you got all, stuff is looking good. And then you make her breakfast or lunch or something like that. You make her a sandwich. Yeah, bro, she's probably gonna want to do something. She's gonna fall into that little dirt, that dream mode, like, oh my God, he's so amazing. And boom, next thing you know, y'all banging. Right? That's ladies, that's a trap. That's the guy trying to get on. He's like, man, I'm just trying to bang. And all I gotta do is make you some pancakes from scratch. I'm gonna get the chance to bang, no problem. You know what I mean? No problem. And then he's gonna send you on his way. Why is he sending you on his way? Because he's got a late lunch set up with another chick coming through. So he done made his pancakes, and now he's about to make himself a cheeseburger deluxe. You know what I mean? Or he's about to make a quesadilla for the next one. So it is what it is, right? Men are not looking for another version of themselves. Men are not attracted to the stuff that women are attracted to. This is so true. And this is another reason why women, these alpha women, these successful women, financially successful women have such a hard time getting dudes and keeping them because they think that they possess what the guys want, when you really don't. What do the guys want? Right? Again, fit, friendly, feminine. Right? That's what they want. They want a woman that's going to follow his lead. They want a woman that's going to be, his Bonnie. You know what I mean? Might be looking for like a gangster chick, looking for a woman that's down for him. Looking for a woman that's going to add value. That's what he's looking for, especially those dudes at the top. All men are like, if they can get it, great. But the guys at the top, that's what they're looking for. Right? So men aren't looking for another version of themselves. This is huge. I don't want to date me. That's a fact. I don't want to date me. I already have me. If I'm masculine, I appreciate femininity, right? If she's feminine, she appreciates masculinity. That's what she's looking for. Differences create attraction. Competition destroys the attraction. That's why you see so many soft dudes out here with these women. All right, I see it all the time when I'm out in these trenches at the bars or whatever. I sit back and I'm watching, men and women interact, listen to the guy, watching his mannerisms. Like, man, dude, soft as cotton. And the woman is like right there, and she's there. And if by chance there's a conversation and she joins in the conversation with a guy like me, bro, it just, man, you can just see them. Their eyes light up, bro. Like my brother says, their tails start wagging. They get close to you, bro. They trying to, what I'm saying? They trying to do whatever. And it's disrespectful to the dude, but they don't even seem to care about the dude. They hollering at you, yo, this is my social media, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to come to one of your comedy shows. Right? And I be seeing that, be playing like, are you bringing your husband? Like, no, I said I'm coming. Ooh, it's not my husband anyway. We're just dating. It's a situationship. Okay, fine. Why? Because she's attracted to masculine men because at her core, she's really feminine. But she's a feminine woman who's had to take on some masculine traits because of work or whatever. And she got this dude. He's kind of like a placeholder. So that's the thing, right? Men are not looking for versions of themselves. If he is, he's probably part of the, LGBT community, right? LGBTQ plus minus whatever it is, percentage sign, whatever it is over there. And I'm not knocking it. He's part of that world, more than likely. But people are getting confused. Guys don't know how to be masculine. Women don't know how to be feminine. Like the lines are blurred, like Akon was saying. The modern dating problem. Social media says be independent. You don't need anyone. You don't need a man, right? Never compromise, never submit, never apologize, always win. But relationships aren't competitions, right? They're not. Right? Relationships are a merger. A lot of people will say relationships are partnerships. I will say they are mergers. Relationships are mergers. And it takes time, it takes effort, it takes energy to keep that merger going. Right? There's always going to be someone in charge. There's a commanding officer and there's an executive officer, right? There's the CEO and there's the XO. And your wife should be the XO. In that merger, someone's going to be the CEO, someone's going to be the XO. I think it works better if the man's in command, he's the CEO, and the woman's the XO. But there are plenty of situations out there where the woman is the commanding officer and the man is the executive officer, and it works. That's what they're doing. And if that's what you have, great. If you're happy, that's what you have, great. Right? But me personally, I'm in command. Now, I might delegate, right? But I'm in command. I'm always going to listen to what my XO has to say. And we're going to move forward accordingly. So, right, the biggest mistake I think is people confuse equality with identical roles. Right, you can be equal without doing identical jobs. That's where modern dating gets stuck. Right, and that's like I just said, COXO. You got the person in charge, you got the CEO, and you got the vice president. Right, so the president, vice president, CEO, and then you got all the other executives, but you got the top dog, and then you have everybody else. That role needs to be defined. If you're going to be in a relationship, that role needs to be defined. And a lot of women don't like hearing this, but I'm here to tell you. There's a lot of women out there, they want the man to be in charge. They want a man that they can follow his role, they can be in his frame. They want it. And the key is, as a man, you got a job to do. You got to be a good commander. You got to be a good CEO. You got to be a good president. That's the key. And ladies, if he's not good, then, you got a decision to make. Remember, I said you always got decisions. Like, ladies, you got a decision to make. He's not doing the job. It's time to punch out. Because you're not necessarily going to be able to mold him into the man that you want. And if it can be done, ladies, let me know. I would love to have you on the platform so you can tell me how it can be done. Like, how do you do that? How do you mold a man into being a great man? Let me know. Let me know. There's, it has been done. You look at FDR and his wife. You look at that. She had a big role. Lady Bird Johnson had a big role as the president's wife. Without her, Tuskegee Airmen might not have been a thing. I'm pretty sure, like they say, that behind every great man is a great woman. So that does happen. But I don't know how women do it because I'm not a woman. I don't know how women mold men or get men, to step up to their greatness. I don't know. But I'm sure it happens. And what do men actually mean by peace, right? So let's explain this. Peace doesn't mean silent, weak, controlled, submissive. Some guys, that's what they believe it means. And for those guys, hey, cool. Ladies, if you're dealing with that dude, if you're dealing with a dude who's just telling you to shut up, he wants you to be weak, he wants to control you, he wants you to be, submissive in a negative term. If that's what you want, if that's what that guy wants, and you are his woman, then hey, you got a choice to make. Either do what he says or move on. Right. But I would say peace means respect, cooperation, trust, emotional stability, mutual support. Right. And those to me are attractive qualities. I would say that that's what peace means to me. Right? I understand I might come home one day and I might walk into a problem. And as the man, as the CEO, I'm going to have to jump in and help fix this problem. Absolutely. But that's not something that's going to happen every day. Like, she's going to hold it down. Like, she's got that. She knows what she's doing. She'll come in, give you a report. Hey, this is what's going on. This is what happened. This is what I did. I took care of it. Okay, well, let me take over. Right? I'm here. Let me take over. Let me go out here and finish the rest of this. Thank you. You know what I mean? And she's going to take care of business. I'm going to go finish it, come back, let her know what we did. Hey, I took care of everything. Hey, did I cover everything? Because she started it. I don't know what else is left to do. Okay, yep, you covered everything. Just go back and do this one last thing. I forgot to tell you. I started here, so make sure you go back there and let those people know that we squared it away. No problem. Get it done. To me, that's great. But I can't do that if I got someone who is so submissive and controlled and weak, and she's afraid to tell me anything. I can't do that. And there are guys out there who want that in a woman. They want them, barefoot and pregnant. They want them to shut up. I mean, there's dudes out there like that. I don't want anything to do with that. But ladies, if you're dealing with that kind of guy, you got to make a choice. You're going to do what he wants you to do. You're going to live that life, or you're going to, move on. This is why you got to start early looking for your dude. Find him early. So, and you guys know I'm in the red pill world, and there's some things in the red pill world that I don't rock with. And here's some of those things, right? Right. And this is important. Like, I don't think women have to quit working. I don't think that. Now, if money's no object, I would tell my wife, like, look, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. But if we don't have a family to raise, if we don't have a house to maintain because it's full of kids and we're managing a bunch of stuff, I mean, I'm pretty sure she just doesn't want to sit by the pool all day. So she might want to do something. She might want to go out there and do some community service. She might want to go out there and work where she was working before, whatever she was doing. She might want to pursue her career. I don't have a problem with that. We see how I talk about, like, yeah, that's what's up. And if it gets to the point where it's too much and it takes away from us, then we have to sit down and talk about that too. Right? You know what I mean? But I don't have a problem with that. And there are guys out there like, I don't want my woman to work. And there's a lot of women who don't want to work. They don't want to have to work. It's like Akon said, like, if you have to work, that might be an issue. But if you don't have to work, just let her know, like, hey, babe, you don't have to work. Like, we're good. Right? Here are the finances. We're good. You don't have to work. And, y'all go from there. But red pill guys, some of the red pill guys got it wrong. Like, man, got to make her quit working right away. Like, if that's what y'all want to do, that's what she wants to do. But she didn't have to. I don't think that every household should look the same. Every household is not going to operate the same. Right? Again, everyone has different leadership styles. I like to delegate. And I like to manage. I'll delegate and I'll sit back and watch and I'll just manage it. And if anything needs to be taken care of, I'll step in and take care of it. If I see a problem, I'll come in and fix the problem. Some dudes like that, I got to do everything. I'm like, all right, cool. That's you. I don't want to do that. I want to sit back and, I'm going to work really well. I'm going to work hand in glove with my woman, with my wife, with my XO. I don't think every relationship has identical roles. Like, again, like I just said, everyone's going to do it differently. Every couple should build a relationship that works for them 100%. What you're doing in your relationship might not make sense to me and vice versa. Right. And that's all right. Bottom line is it works for y'all. Y'all determine what y'all want to do. Again, air traffic control. As an air traffic controller, there's a million ways to control your airplanes in your sector, like in your airspace at your airport at a given time. Like, the controller in front of me is going to make a series of decisions that I'm not going to make. I'm going to make different decisions. I'm going to run a different sequence. I'm going to run different departures. I'm going to do stuff the way it works for me based on what's going on. And that's how it should be. It's not cookie cutter. And that's how relationships are. Relating, like, that couple over there is going to do it way different than I'm going to do it with my wife. Right. But the important part is both people agree. That's the most important part. Like, y'all agree. This is how we're going to do it. This is the secret to, in my opinion, to having a successful relationship. I've had a few, and when they worked, we were hitting all these points. And where did it go? Where did it go wrong? A lot of times it went wrong because I made a command decision, and the woman I was dealing with did not want to follow my path. We hit that fork in the road. I wanted to go left. She wanted to go right. And that's where it went. Right? That's where it went. And I was doing my path. And then a lot of women, they'll come back like, I want to be back with you now. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I got somebody else. Like, I'm good. Or I'm not dealing with anyone right now. I'm good. Maybe when I decide to look for somebody, I'll look you up. I have done that. Then I will look them up and it's like, whoo, let yourself go, girl. You used to be fine. What happened? Well, I have kids, but I'm ready now. I'm like, I'm good. I'm good. All right, I don't need that. Like, I don't need that. The relationship formula, man, successful relationships, man, they should be built on, in my opinion, y'all let me know if you agree with this or not, respect, trust, communication, shared goals, peace, all that will equal longevity. Now, we can say those things and it sounds real simple, but I'm telling you now, man, it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of hard work. Relationships are hard work. It never gets easier. It's constant, right? It just never goes away. Right. That's when you see old people. Like, I think it's a record number of boomers getting divorced now. Crazy, right? Boomers. Like, y'all like 60, like 70, 80, 90 years old. Y'all getting divorced? What are you thinking? What are you thinking? I guess some boomers are 60. There's some boomers out there who are 60. What are you thinking? Divorce? Still hard work, man. Someone stopped trying. So final thoughts on all this, guys. I think too many people are asking who has the power, right? Who's the prize? And you've heard this a million times. Instead of asking, how do we build a great relationship? That's the real question. They want to know who the prize is. I'm the prize. I'm better than you, basically. And it's like, no, you got, in my opinion, when a man and woman comes together and they join, and they form Voltron, and it works. Like they join together and their relationship goes the distance. When that happens, then at that point, they're both the prize. They are both the prize. Moving forward, they are the prize. And as long as they stay together and that relationship works and they're able to do what they need to do, they are both equally valuable. That's how I look at it. If I'm in a relationship and we together, man, I'm like, all right, I'm the prize. Why do you say that? Because look at my wife. Look at my girl. We are the prize right now. Well, who brought what to the table? Don't matter, man. We are together and it's working. We are the prize. We have formed Voltron. You can't mess with us. We got that blazing sword going on right now. We taking heads. Right? That's my take on it. What do y'all think? Right? What do y'all think? What does it take, man? What does it take? And in closing, man, I don't think successful men should avoid successful women. I don't think that. I think successful men avoid unnecessary conflict. I do think that. I agree with that, and I think that. Like, successful men, like, again, you could be a very successful woman, have all the letters behind your name and in front of your name, and have the degrees and the social clout and all that kind of stuff, the money, the success. You can have all that. And if you come to a guy, you find a guy that you want, I don't think he should just disqualify you because you're successful. But you got to understand something. He's not going to come home and fight with you for command. Right? He's not going to come. Like, you've been in command. You've been running your thing. You want to be with him. There's a change of command. He is now the commanding officer, and you are now the executive officer. And that is how it's going to go, unless you can convince him to be the XO, and you're the commanding officer. And some people out there are thinking, like, well, why can't we both be commanding officers? Because that's not how command works. Someone has to be ultimately in charge. But that's just how it works. One CEO, one president at a time, one commander. One person has to be in charge. So that's where a lot of women go wrong trying to get, a high value man or a top tier guy, right? Because women tend to want guy at their level or higher. So there is a huge difference, though. Like, a confident woman, a successful woman, an educated woman can be incredibly attractive. Yeah. If she's fine, she's fit, friendly, and feminine, hell yeah. All the other stuff is just whatever. But she's fine. But if every conversation becomes a competition, eventually someone stops wanting to play the game, like we just said. And that's why I think so many relationships fail today, especially at that level. Right? That's why I think we're having problems. And the lines have been blurred, and society wants to blur it. Feminism plays a role in it. The Manos swamp, the red pill plays a role in it. But at the end of the day, ladies, it boils down to y'all. You want to choose a guy, you want a certain type of dude. If you're looking for a guy who's 6 feet, makes 6 figures or more, and is, has a six pack, he's in shape. That means 85% or more of the available men are invisible to you. And that's a problem. So you got like 15% of dudes that you're sifting through. And of that, how many of those dudes are single, heterosexual, fit, right? Like, how many of those dudes fit your requirements? Well, probably like 8%, 9%, somewhere in there. And then add to the fact, like, oh, you want a guy who's like, you want a black guy? Oh shit, that just fell down to like 4%. Right? Maybe less. So, and if you find that guy and he's single and all that, and he sits you down, it's like, hey, I really want to start something with you, but you gotta understand, I'm still gonna be banging other chicks. Those are his terms. You got a decision to make. And if you're not willing to accept that, you'll be lucky to find a guy that's going to tell you the truth up front. Most guys, they just lie to you and they just try to play the game and just bet on the fact that you ain't going to go. And if you do go, they don't care. They'll go get another one. They already got others, right? So if you're one of those women who are like dead set on getting a top 15 percentile guy, you're going to have problems, especially if you're not willing to sharing. You're going to have problems. Now, if you find a unicorn, okay, great, good for you. Good for you. I'm happy. I'm happy for you. But if you're being honest, you ain't gonna find no unicorn. If we're being honest, right? So questions for the audience. We're wrapping this up. I'm about to get out of here. But I got some questions for the audience. And just let me know in the comments below or team replay. You know what I mean? Hit that comment. If you're in the chat, you can put it in the chat below. Can two alpha personalities build a successful marriage? That's one question. You know what I mean? Can you yes, no, maybe, kind of? Throw it, throw your answers down below. Would you date someone who consistently challenges you? That's a good one. Would you? Man or woman, would you consistently date someone who's constantly challenging you? Is peace underrated in today's dating market? Right? It's, and a separate question, I guess, an add-on question to that is women. Do you value peace? Do women want peace, or are women happier with a little bit of chaos? Are relationship roles outdated or simply evolving? That's a good one too. Again, these are pretty good questions. Does success make dating easier or harder? So those are the questions, guys. I would love to hear your answers. I would love to hear what you have to say. Thanks for rocking out with me. This was pretty cool. I jumped up at the last moment. I found this and I was like, yeah, man, this is cool. I'm digging it. So tomorrow we'll be back. I'm not quite sure what we're going to talk about tomorrow. Maybe some politics, maybe we'll stay in this vein and keep talking about dating. I'm not sure. But I definitely have my eye on, what's going on in the Persian Gulf. Yeah, it looks like we're not having any peace with Iran right now. Looks like that memorandum of understanding has gotten torn up, and we're throwing bombs back and forth at each other. So we might talk about that tomorrow. We might talk about Trump numbers. We might talk about the Democratic Socialists and what's going on with that. We might talk about Plattner, the guy in the Maine who's going to run for Senate. Looks like he was going to be like the next senator in Maine, but he's got all kind of problems. We might do some political talk tomorrow. We'll see. But we're going to talk about something. So we'll be on around 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope to see you guys there. I'm DL Saint. This is the I Really Want to Know podcast. I will see y'all later. Peace.
Nothing like I've ever seen. It's just a thing of beauty.
Darn, that's the end.
Thanks for watching. Really appreciate your support. And if you like that video, check out this one or maybe that one. We'll see you around. Peace.